Okay. Hello everyone. Welcome back to World of Tanks. Doing a garage review because why not? Because I looked at my this is being recorded right after I played those random Panzer II games, and looked through my tanks. Thought, do I really want to play some more World of Tanks? And so I was just skipping through. Tier 3. Do I want to play anything? Not really. Tier 4. Do I want to play anything? T28 with the F30. Yeah, AMX-40. And then I was like, well. AMX-40, people don't really like the AMX-40, and I quite like the AMX-40 for some good reasons, not because of the gun, I'll say first off. And so I thought, I'll do a review on the AMX-40, because why not? And just show off what you probably should be doing with the AMX-40. It is, of course, a Tier 4 supposedly light tank, but this is French light, so 300 hit points on a 22-ton tank with only a 190 horsepower engine, which is this one, the Sommelier LM, only 190 horsepower for this 22.06-ton tank. So horsepower per ton is only 8.61, which is abysmal. So it's obviously not a light tank in the sense of anything really. Armor, gun, speed, you know. 190 horsepower engine, supposedly 50 horsepower, supposedly 50 kilometer an hour speed limit. Just, France, how high were you when you decided on this top speed? Going downhill with a push and a tornado behind them, or in front of them even to pull them? Yes, possibly you could get up to 50 kilometers an hour. Along flat surface, no. 30 degrees per second traverse speed is not really very good. I mean, that's more heavy tank sort of standard traverse speed. The armor as well is not really light tank. It's more heavy tank. 70 at the front, 65 at the side, 40 at the rear. And looking at this is not... It's heavy armor, yes. It's not quite as good as the Matilda, with 75 frontal hull and 70 at the rear and 70 at the side and 55 at the rear. However, that is still very, very good armor down here at Tier 4. Plus, look at it, it's very sleek and smooth. Look at this, it's all lots of lovely sloping and roundedness. That's what I like about it. It looks nice. It's a nice looking tank. It's very sloped, it's very round, it's all very smooth. You don't have, British flat surfaces, which makes it look very machine-like. This looks like a machine of war. It wouldn't win any beauty contests with the Valentine 2, but the AMX, it's all very sleek. Look at this, it's very aerodynamic, which is probably why they thought, we shall have it as 50 kilometers an hour for the top speed of our light tank. I mean, it's very streamlined and flat and sloped. Well, not flat, it's very rounded and sloped, which is what I like, because it looks very, very nice. And so it's 70 at the front, but, with that sloping and roundedness, a little bit of angling, and you'll have lots and lots of armor on your supposedly light tank. The upgraded turret armor as well, it's 80 at the front, 60 at the side and rear, and once again, it's all very nice, sleek, streamlined, sloped, apart from the machine gunner, but, we don't talk about the machine gun on top. I mean, even the stock turret, 70, 60, 60, once again. And that is also, if you look at that is a very, very circular and sloped. It's basically a ball with a gun sticking out the front. That's what they basically did for the stock turret. With the upgraded turret, they sort of enlarged it by 2 and then cut it in half and just decided semicircle with a machine gun turret on top. It's very nice and sloped and things, and it's very well armoured, and the sloping of course means that you will bounce shots from guns like the Valentine's guns, the stock 2-pounder, the 3-inch howitzer, the B1. Other French tanks will have problems getting through the armour because it's so sloped, and the actual raw thickness of the armour is very good. However, it's let down by the gun. So the stock gun that you'll be using is the 47mm SA-34, which is 47mm, of course. Very high rate of fire. It's like the 2-pounder. It's 26.09 rounds per minute. However, it's only 25mm of penetration, that's like Panzer 2D penetration. That is can't fucking cannon 30 and 38. That's flat gun. I mean, it's not even flat gun, it's pseudo flat gun penetration. It is terrible. And having to use that gun on a tier 4, I mean, let's look at the Valentine's gun. The Valentine has not got the best tier 4 gun. It's a 45mm, 20 KL. However, it has a higher rate of fire. It has better penetration. It has slightly worse damage, but it's much more accurate and has the same aiming time. And the Valentine 2 is not known for its very good gun. So, for using this tank, and it doesn't get premium matchmaking, the Valentine 2 will only see tier 4s. It won't see tier 5s, won't see tier 6. It has literally its own tier. That's all it will see. This tank can see tier 6s, and if you're stuck using the 47mm with 25 penetration, you're not going to be penetrating anything. Nothing whatsoever. You will be useless because you don't have the speed to scout. The armor is decent at tier 4, but fighting against tier 5s and 6s, no, not really. And you can't kill anything. You are pretty much dead weight to your team if you're using this gun. So, yeah, it's highly inaccurate. It has pretty good aiming time. It has poor damage. It's just a terrible gun. And then the next upgrade is the SA-35, which is another 47mm. It has the same rate of fire, slightly better penetration of 45, still worse than the 45mm on the Valentine 2, slightly better damage of 55, more accurate of 0.47, and the same 1.7 second aiming time. So it's an upgrade, but still, once again, you're not going to be killing much, anything at all really, at tier 4, 5 and 6. Then you have the top gun, which is the 75mm SA-32. 75mm gun, so of course the rate of fire goes way down. 9.68 rounds per minute. The penetration is slightly buffed, however, it's still not very good. 74mm of penetration, which is one less than the actual caliber of the gun. 91 with premium ammo, which is still not very good, really. You would expect that to be standard penetration on a tier 4, perhaps 91, maybe a little bit lower, perhaps because tier 4, but you would expect that to be more sort of stock, credit bought ammunition, but no, this is heat ammunition with only 91mm of penetration. 38mm of penetration with high explosive, 110 damage across the board apart from 175 for high explosive. Slightly better of 0.46 instead of 0.47 accuracy, which is still not really that good, and the aim time goes way up to 2.5 seconds. So the gun selection is terrible at best. I mean, this is the gun that you'll be using, and you'll have to use it on the Renault G1. Because you won't have the next gun unlocked. I mean, if you're planning on going... if you've gone up the light tank line here to get onto the ELC, and then you suddenly decide that, you're... Or at the same time, you're going from the... Somyo to the SARL, to the G1. If you haven't unlocked the SA-44, then you will be stuck using this gun on the G1, which is a tier 5 going up against tier 7s. So, yeah, good luck with you using this gun on that. I mean, it's I was going to say mediocre gun at best, but it's not even mediocre, it's worse than that. You hold a decent enough amount of ammunition, we'll give it that. You hold 70 rounds of 75mm AP, heat, or HE, but I mean, if you're not going to be using APCR, then you'll be using heat rounds, and heat rounds cost 2,800 each, and they a maximum of 114mm of penetration, depends on the penetration range that the game decides to give you, is still not that good. So your armor is the thing that makes the tank and also the look of it, because the Mighty Duck, as this is also known, it's not known for its gun. I mean, people don't like this tank because it's supposedly a light tank, so it gets light tank matchmaking, but it doesn't have the speed or anything to actually be a light tank. So people don't like it for that, but I like it for the looks, the armor, not perhaps not the gun, but you know. So moving on from the gun, 5.35 rounds per minute with a gun rammer and 100% crew. Sorry, not rounds per minute, gun reload time. The turret, the upgraded turret rotates slower than the stock turret. The stock turret, 32 degrees per second, upgraded 26. But you do get 20 more meters of view range and better frontal turret armor by 10. And you need it to mount the gun that you will have to use if you want to get anything done in the Mighty Duck. So, yeah, it's not very good turret traverse speed, and to be honest, that doesn't particularly matter because you're not going to be circle strafing anything in this tank, so you don't need the quick turret traverse. Things will be circle strafing you, but you will have the armor to shrug off low caliber gun shots. 340 meters of view range, which is pretty standard tier 4. You have 350, 350, 260 because it's a tank destroyer, but I love the Hetzer. 340, 330, 340, you don't have a turret upgrade. So, yeah, it's pretty standard view range, and the French do not have very good radios because I could make a joke about the French always retreating, but I can't think of anything right now, so just French radios are not particularly good. 360 meters view range, radio range, although the B1 gets a pretty good radio. 710, so that's pretty decent. It's a very good radio. However, down here, the AMX-40, they just thought, what more could we do to screw over this tank? I know, let's give it a terrible radio. Seems legit. Let's just stick that on there because wargaming. But yeah, moving on to the consumables, I actually haven't added any consumables for some reason. I don't know, maybe it's because I just didn't think of it worth my time. But as for the equipment, definitely want to get that tank gun rammer for the 75, because if you want to do any amount of damage in any considerable time, you will need to get off those shots quick in order to hope that one hits. Light spall liner wouldn't be a bad idea. You do have very good armor. It's French armor, so it's very good armor. In fact, talking of armor, let me make a French retreating joke. You would expect there to be more armor at the rear of the tank because that's what the enemy will be shooting at 90% of the time. So there you go, there's your French retreating joke of the day. But light spall liner, yeah, you'll want to equip that because it's pretty good frontal and side hull armor, and also it's very sloping, so yeah. Light spall liner will be a good investment. Improved vents, yeah, like I said, the gun is not very good, so if you want to get any considerable damage or penetration done in this tank, get the improved vents. Enhanced springs, sure, you could get that. You're not going to be doing any jumps in this tank, so yeah, maybe not. But you know, if you want to not get detract and not have people circle strafing or shooting into your weak 40 rear hull armor, then sure, maybe. Camo net, I don't think so. You don't have the penetration to be a sniping tank, so yeah, hold off on that. Wet ammo rack, if your ammo rack keeps getting damaged, went over that. Binos, not really. You're not going to be sniping in this tank because of the terrible penetration and aim time, and also the accuracy is not very good on the 75, so yeah, hold off on that. Coated optics is always useful. Gun lane drive, yep, that'll be a good investment on this tank and with this gun. And toolbox is always useful anyway, so it's a crew of 3. You have the commander, who is also the radio operator, which is what I would think of the commander as being anyway. I would have thought either the commander or the driver would be the radio operator. So, yep, your commander slash radio operator. I am going Sixth Sense because Sixth Sense is always useful. Relay, definitely not, because you don't have the signal range to get anything done. Signal boosting, yep, definitely. That should be your second thing to get, if not first. Situational awareness is always useful, so yep, sure, go with that. Call for vengeance, no, not really. You don't have the radio range to make any use of that. Eagle eye is always useful. Jack of all trades, possibly. I mean, you may want to. Recon is always useful, and Mentor I don't really see the point in. And then, of course, your common skills. Gunner, of course, Deadeye will definitely be useful, definitely with this gun, because you're not going to be penetrating 90% of the time. So, to do more module damage when you do actually penetrate, then that'll be good. Common skills, of course, and the gunner is also the loader, so safe stowage. If your ammo keeps getting damaged and you don't want to use a repair kit on it, then sure. Adrenaline rush is always useful. Intuition, yeah, yeah, go on then. I haven't actually loaded up any heat rounds, but you will probably be carrying around a large stock of heat rounds, so intuition definitely will be useful to you. Snapshot, your turret rotates very slowly anyway, and you don't really have very good accuracy or aim time, so probably not. Um, Armor, if your gun keeps getting damaged and you don't want to use a repair kit on it once again. Designated target is also one of those always useful skills, if you can't think of anything else to put on. Then, of course, your common skills. And finally, the driver. Clutch braking, definitely. You have not really that good hull traverse speed of 30, so yeah, sure, go with that. Off-road driving is always useful, and it will definitely help you with your supposedly light tank, so yeah, definitely go with that. If your engine keeps getting set on fire because you're retreating 90% of the time, then sure, preventive maintenance. Um, Improved accuracy whilst firing on the move, it's not a very accurate gun anyway, so probably not. Controlled impact, you're not going to get the speed up really to ram stuff, but people ramming into you will definitely help, so that's up to you. I'll leave it up to you to choose whether you want to get controlled impact or not. And then, of course, your common skills, like I said. Um, so overall, it's a well-armoured but terribly gunned tank that gets scout matchmaking because it's supposedly a light tank, because the French were very, very high when they made this tank. So, yeah, just... If you're in a tier 6 match, good luck with that. If you're in a tier 5 match, again, good luck with that. If you're in a tier 4 match, laugh in their faces whilst you ricochet every single one of their shots whilst penetrating 10% of the time. And also, with regards to this thing, because in my review of the AT-15A I said that this apparently plays music, but my game sounds are very low and it is very faint anyway, so let me turn up my game sounds. Here we go. Turn up the music sound to all the way up to 100%. Play. Back to game. Click on the gramophone, and we'll see what happens. Yeah, I think I can hear music. Can you guys hear music? I left-clicked on it. Let's right-click on it. Don't think anything happens when you right-click on it. But... can we hear it? I swear I heard it once. Yeah, there you go. So, with regards to that music, don't know what it is. I haven't seen anyone who knows what music this is, but because it's Czechoslovakian themed with, Czechoslovakian tanks along here, I'm guessing it's probably something Czechoslovakian, but... yeah, let me turn down this music. There we go. So, yeah, don't know what music that is. Could be Czechoslovakian, probably is from the theme, but yeah, so overall, laugh in their faces if you're in a tier 4 match, hide and cower in a corner if you're in a tier 5 or 6 match, and fire gold at everything. So yeah, thank you for watching, and goodbye.